Hey guys, before I even introduce myself and get started in this video, I want to get to the point. We're not going to know when the next bank fails. Again, let me repeat that. We're not going to know when the next bank fails. And I want to dive into exactly why that is in this video. We all know that last Friday through this past Monday, we've had some bank failures, and over the weekend they were trying to figure things out, and they came to the conclusion that they're going to take over the banks, but then they also created what's called a backstop facility. And it's not just available to Silicon Bank and to Signature Bank. It's available to any bank that needs its help, okay? It's got $25 billion in it. Now, I'm going to put up some posts and some videos of how this program is going to work. And as you can see, the FDIC has created this program, and it's available to everyone, not just the banks of concern that we've been hearing about on Friday through Monday, but to everyone. And then also, this is the more key component side of this. This program will be updated to us. We will know the balance of this $25 billion on a weekly basis. They will let us know exactly what's going on with this fund. So we'll be able to know that it's being used. However, it will not tell us the banks that use it. In other words, we won't get a report of any new banks that go to this new backstop facility for money. Instead, that may be reported a year from now. As you can see, the Fed has announced. So we're not going to know if there's a bank that is failing from here on out. So that's a great way, of course, for them to try to get the markets to back off, get the markets to calm down a bit. However, it goes to show you that there's a lot of deception going on, and we don't really get to understand or know how deep that we have problems in our banking system. So I think that's telling. And for those of you that are kind of just looking and saying, okay, what's next? When's the next bank going to come out? Is this really over? Well, the answer to that question is probably not. It probably is not over, but it's happening underneath the surface because they don't have to tell you which bank took it until a year from now. I thought that was really key and really important that we know that. Now, obviously, the argument for that would be that the markets will need to cool off, and if we continue to see that banks were failing, we'll continue to have bank runs, and this will turn into a much bigger deal than if we keep it contained. And then, of course, on the negative side, it's highly deceptive. What is our government doing? Ultimately, when our government does something, who funds the government? We do as the American people. So we know that we're going to be the ones paying for this. We're going to be the ones that have to handle this. The bill always gets put on the American taxpayer, and the depositors are us. So we pay everything. And so we need to know what's going on and with our banking system, and we need to hold those accountable who need to be held accountable. And of course, bailing people out doesn't allow for people to make better decisions. When you bail someone out, you actually enable them to continue to make bad decisions. Those are just my thoughts, but again, it's very important. You may not hear anything about new banks failing because they're not required to tell you who's taking money from this bank stop program that the FDIC has generated over the weekend. Pretty crazy stuff.